For some, stagehand work is a really cool side hustle. For others, this could be an opportunity to turn this into an entire career working behind the scenes in the entertainment industry. So, if you're brand new or if you have a little bit of experience and want to grow, we're going to show you the basic overview of this industry, the different avenues that it can take you, and how to turn it from a part-time gig into a career. So how does the industry work at this level? Generally, it takes multiple different companies coming together to put on a show. So there is a lot of different companies that you can work for. Most stagehands start through labor companies or labor unions. They often do the big shows with a lot of people, so it's easier to get your foot in the door. These companies just provide the labor, so they don't own any of the production equipment. So as a stagehand, you'll be working under a production lead. Production companies do own the gear. They rent it out along with their technicians that know the ins and outs of the equipment. Working for a production company is going to be a mix of being out on the field and in the warehouse prepping the gear. You can also work for a venue. Some venues hire directly, especially if they're smaller. But the smaller the production usually means more opportunity for you to get hands-on technical experience. Now let's talk about touring. There's a lot of different ways you can get into being a touring roadie. Touring requires some decent experience, networking, and oftentimes several years specializing in one single department. The events and entertainment industry is huge, and there are multiple different paths available. Let's break it down into 3 sectors. We've got concerts, corporate AV, and theater. Concerts are often fast-paced, physically demanding, and high energy. For big shows, it's a lot of early mornings and really late nights. Some arena tours can have upwards of 25 semi-trucks full of equipment that you're gonna load in and out the same day. Here, the demand for labor is high, so it's usually a good place to get your foot in the door. Corporate AV is another side of the events industry. It's all the same equipment, but working these events requires a bit more technical knowledge and responsibility than being a stagehand for a concert. It may not be as exciting as concerts, but it's a great way to get more hands-on technical experience and more consistent work. Theater operates a little differently, and this side of entertainment is kind of its own world. A lot of equipment, procedures, and terms are unique to the theater world that differ from concerts and corporate. Some theater shows can be touring, like big Broadway musicals, while others are in-house shows. For an in-house show, you can take part in the complete process, starting with prep, rehearsals, and tech phase, and then running the same show on repeat for several weeks before striking it down. So how do you actually get into all of this? Oftentimes, people wind up here by knowing someone in the industry, but you can absolutely find your way in by searching online for opportunities in your city. The bigger stagehand companies are a great way to start getting experience. Bigger shows means higher demand and better odds of getting more work. One thing to be aware of is this industry can be very seasonal. For example, summer is the busiest season for concert tours, so in spring there's a big hiring push. But the overall seasonality depends on where you live. If you're just getting into the industry, here's a couple realistic expectations. This is gig work, so it's not always consistent and it may not be for everyone. There are a lot of long days and late nights. If you get out there and you don't know what you're doing, that's totally okay. What matters the most at this stage is showing up, being prepared, paying attention, and having a good attitude. Having a right attitude can take you really far. Just do the best you can and learn as much as possible. Word of mouth is everything, where your leads take notice and start requesting you on more gigs. Now, let's say you have some experience under your belt, but you want to turn this into a full-time career. Well, working full-time in this industry usually means balancing a schedule, working with multiple different employers, having a solid network, and the ability to handle very busy weeks and not worry when gigs slow down. Focus on growing a diverse skill set and building your network. Once you get past the beginning stages, if you want to be a technician or go on tour, consider finding the department you like the most and specializing in it. Tours and production companies mainly look to fill specific roles. They'd rather hire somebody that's really good at one thing over someone that's mediocre at everything. It's also a good idea to learn rigging. No matter what department you're in, rigging applies to everything. So as a beginner, you want to learn everything you can so you can understand how the departments work together. And then as you advance in your career, you can really narrow in on what you love to do the most. This line of work can be super fulfilling, especially when you love what you do.